How's it going, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. I'm Silas. Today I'm going to be reacting to a band called ELECTROCUTICA with the song Piece of Cipher. It's a band I've never heard of. This is also taken from one of my live streams, so I hope you guys enjoy. Ooh. Love the atmospheric start so far. Ooh. Interesting chord progression there. Ooh. It's already starting very strong. I love the little flourishes here and there. That glitchiness coming in, and then there's that piano coming. Ooh. Interesting. Oh, okay. Ooh, percussion's picking up. Interesting. Mixed on this percussion. Different than what I'm used to. Ooh! That was sick! What a sick drop. That's such a unique chord progression and melody line. Oh, I love that bass. Oh, the piano coming, very jazzy right here. Oh, that's an interesting voice. Again, I think that's a keyboard. I can't tell. Ooh. I think a lot of these chords are very much jazzy chords. So many cool layers. Yeah, nice transition, nice transition. Very, very cool. I love this. I love this feeling right here. Bass comes in, kind of gives that groove. I love that percussion. Sounds almost very, sounds very chiptune. I like that. But with the strings, the plucked strings on top of it, that's such an interesting sound. Wow. Oh, wow. Sorry, this is blowing me away. This is one of the coolest things I've ever listened to. Ooh. Love the drive here. Ooh. I love that. Cool synth right there. Notice the girl on the cover has joints like she's a puppet or a doll or something. Automaton. Ooh. Change up the drum feel right there, so it makes it feel a different kind of feel. Might have been kind of some signature change too. Love that layer. Wow. I love how there's so many different aspects and layers that you wouldn't expect to come together and work, but they really do. Oh, yeah. very jazzy. That sounds cool. Wow. Okay. That was Piece of Cipher by ELECTROCUTICA. That was phenomenal. That was so interesting. I don't even have words for that. That was one of the coolest pieces of music I have ever heard. This is going to be interesting. There's so many. I discover so much new music through this channel, and it's so interesting. Because sometimes I want to. There's some music I listen to that I'm like, oh, this is cool. And people like when I react to certain things, they'll like, oh, I'll react to this more on the channel. But then there's some music like this where I'm like, I don't want to wait to react to this song by song. I just want to delve into their whole discography because it was so cool. That's kind of how I felt with this one. My first thoughts are, how does my musical brain can't comprehend it? How do people come up with something like this? There are so many layers going on, but they all work so well. They're all coming in at different times, different voices, and when I say voices, I just mean different like sounds, I guess. Different sounds, different instruments. There was even that time change feel. It might have not have been a complete time change. It was just a change in the percussion, I think. But yeah, and bringing in layers, taking away layers, bringing the energy down, then bringing it back up again. This was just beautifully composed. And very much jazzy with a lot of the chords. There was a lot of jazzy chords in there for sure. And then just a combination of sounds you would not expect. Good example is you have this very much drum and bass kind of drums, taking that from the genre drum and bass, the very almost not full electronic sound, but like they're like more electronic sounding drums than a standard drum kit, on top of piano, on top of this chip tune that comes in, and then you have plucked strings and just different elements of like orchestra mixed in. I think I heard bells or chimes at some point. And yeah, and just electronic synths that add to that chip tune, just on top of this jazziness, and then the bass. At one point, it sounded like synth bass, but at another point, it sounded like an actual bass, like an upright bass almost. So very, very interesting how they did that. I'm curious. I have to look this up. I just got to see how much music this artist has, because ELECTROCUTICA. Because that was really cool. Okay, this came off of, I'm assuming, the album of the same name, Piece of Cipher. It's all labeled under instrumental. Like, okay, interesting. All right. And the variety of genres caught my ear. The rhythm is about the only constant. Yes, I agree with that. The drums kept a constant rhythm, and I think the only change was that one part that was like a change in the drums. Really, that was the one part that changed the rhythm a little bit. But other than that, yeah, the drums kind of kept a constant driving motion to it. But yeah, looking at this, it looks like they have Piece of Cipher is just, this is the only version of the song, it looks like. But the rest of this album, there is an instrumental version of it, but there's also Vocaloid. Yes, that's exactly yeah, that's exactly what I noticed, was they work with Vocaloid. Which is cool. I'd be interested to hear both versions of their works, just because I've heard some Vocaloid stuff that's pretty cool. But I also just love a good instrumental. So I'm actually going to add that album to my Apple Music just so I can listen to it later. They have some other works, it looks like. But it doesn't appear they released anything past 2014. which is interesting. Very cool stuff, though. I loved that. That was so sick. I'm super into anything that is experimental, goes progressive, does not follow standard song structures, because sometimes that stuff gets a little boring. If you listen to a lot of songs on the radio, like most modern pop, I can't get into because it just it's boring. A lot of radio rock too is the same way. I know like certain bands are famous for being bad. I don't think Nickelback is bad by any means, but I do think it's a boring band. I've listened to certain songs of theirs, and I'm like, there's just nothing to this. It's just the same old verse, chorus, bridge, chorus, and using riffs and vocal melodies that I feel like I've heard before. Artists like this really delve into just experimenting with different sounds, and I'm not. This is why I say I love genre fusion, because I'm not huge into just straight jazz. I like stuff I've heard out of jazz, but I'm not one to just put on some just jazz, you know? But things that incorporate jazz like this was very much fusion of electronic and jazz, and I think it works really well. Jazz is such a good mixer, in my opinion, because there's bands out there like Thank You Scientists that fuse rock and jazz. They do it excellent. Between the Buried in Me has jazz elements in their metal sometimes. So it's like jazz, I think, fuses very well with certain genres. Now, if you told me there was a song that was a fusion of jazz and bluegrass, I probably wouldn't get into it because I don't really like bluegrass. But that's not the point. But yeah, sorry I've been rambling, but I, tend to do that on this channel. You give me a piece of music like this that I get really into, I will ramble because it just blows me away. It's just phenomenal. So yeah, I really enjoyed that. That was my reaction for Piece of Cipher by ELECTROCUTICA. I hope you guys enjoyed. If you guys have any other requests you want to me to react to, just put them down in the comments below. And I will see you guys in the next one. Bye.